Hi everyone, and welcome to 60 Minutes. I'm Sandra Sully. Tonight we will break down the elements of the explosive hidden camera footage that was released of the Nintendo Australia team. This has not reflected well on the company and may have the ability to impact the upcoming launch of the Nintendo Switch. Through an analysis of the issues that brought about the actions of the team at Nintendo, we can conclude on a number of recommendations. Tonight, we will be talking with a psychologist, Rosie, to further look at the personalities of the members at Nintendo. This will demonstrate how the social context and personalities influenced the reactions and the behaviours of the team. We will then move to a discussion with a team training expert, Claudia, to discuss these personalities and how they work within the team, and the overall team dynamics and cultural issues. Lastly, we will just talk with a human resource coordinator, Lauren, to discuss the motivations of these employees. We will then bring this discussion together and talk to a senior member of management at Nintendo, Hilary, to generate a number of recommendations for the company to work through this scandal and promote a positive working environment for the success of the organisation and the launch of the Nintendo Switch. But first, let's recap on how the scandal unfolded.
Maybe if Liam had done a better job marketing the Wii U, then consumers and retailers would know what the hell it is.
What? Are you serious? You're blaming me for this?
You're damn right I am. You are hopeless at your job.
I can't believe we're still having this same conversation. I do what I'm told from the higher ups. I'm sick of this crap. What is your problem, Molly? I swear that it's always something with you.
Oh, you really are a piece of work, Liam. You are so useless and lazy.
And you think I'm the problem?
Well, they don't really seem to be getting along over there at Nintendo. Let's check in with our psychologist, Rosie, to discuss some of the personalities of the members.
Thanks, Sandra. Personality analysis is the fundamental step to get a thorough understanding of how the Nintendo scandal comes about. There exist great personality differences in the Australia team of Nintendo. Today, we apply the Big Five personality model to analyze the characters. The main causes for concern in the Australia team are Liam, Molly, and Nancy. Liam shows low level of openness, low level of agreeableness, high level of neuroticism. He is not responsible and innovative enough for his work. In his notion, it's Nintendo of Japan and America who screwed up with the Wii U. He believes there's nothing he can do to save it, and moreover, even if he has made extra efforts, he would not be rewarded for it anyway. As the head of marketing, he doesn't believe in the product, has little faith towards the team, and thus makes poor contribution. When Molly blames him for the failure of Wii U, he fights back immediately and leaves no room for further discussion. When Frank asks him what is happening, he refuses to face the problem and simply says, I have no idea. What's more, he has stereotyped Molly. He complains she is always like that, and he takes the conflict as a personal issue since Molly is always so picky and arrogant. Molly shows high level of neuroticism, low level of agreeableness, narcissistic traits. She is not able to control herself and gets frustrated and angry. She brings up her discontent towards them in a very aggressive way. Her sharp words, such as, what the hell it is, and you're damn right I am, intensify the tension all at once. As the head of sales, Molly seems to be most sensitive to Liam's performance. However, instead of discussing with Liam or asking a third person to help them sort out the problem beforehand, she complains too much and even thinks Liam is hopeless. Molly's narcissistic traits makes her feel superior than Liam in Korea. She thinks she has to take on more of Liam's responsibilities and describes them as useless, lazy. She insists it's Liam who needs to change and never thinks she has to make changes as well. Nancy shows high level of conscientiousness, high level of agreeableness, low level of extroversion. She really wants the team to work on the right track. When Liam and Molly quarrels, she calmly addresses them both at first time. She requires them to take a deep breath and think about what you are saying. She stresses several times that we are a team. After the first quarrel, she tries to relieve Molly's negative emotions and encourages her to talk to them. But Nancy is rather conservative and vague. She is not willing to get too involved in the conflict and is not so good at solving a conflict.
Thanks for your input, Rosie. We're now going to cross to Claudia to discuss some of the team dynamics involved. Well, thanks so much for having me, Sandra. I'm here to discuss how the team at Nintendo are currently working together, and I think we can safely say that their teamwork is currently quite poor, and this has come about in a number of ways. Firstly, each of the team members come from a different background, both culturally and educationally, and this is both surface level and a deep level of diversity. Each member may not understand and value the differences of others, resulting in the distrust of these others. Thus, the team does not value working within a team, and they do not appear to see how teamwork can create a better outcome. A most important issue that we are seeing is the identification of an in-group and an out-group. Liam and Frank seem to bond together, whilst Molly and Nancy are bonding. This can create issues because both Liam and Frank are white males, born and raised in Australia, and Nancy is from New Zealand, whilst Molly is from Malaysia and Tom from Japan. The group has some diversity, however, in-group favouritism can create issues and stereotypes that do not promote team unity. In addition, personalities influence the way in which they function and perform within a team. Agreeableness is regarded as an important trait to possess within a team, and after listening to Rosie's discussion of personalities within the team, we see that Nancy is highly agreeable and working towards a better team dynamic. She prefers the team to get along and is more interested in the team's interest rather than her own self-interest. However, as other members of the team do not possess agreeableness, it creates difficulties in bringing the team together to work towards the greater good. In addition, Nancy is also highly conscientious. This benefits the whole team, as one team member high in conscientiousness benefits the whole team's performance, as they are more motivated to work harder. It also seems that Liam is not conscientious, and this is affecting the morale of the team as he is very negative. And quotes such as, "Why would I work harder if I'm not going to be rewarded?" reflect this negativity. Lastly, the team appears to be utilising a task interdependence sequential method. This means that each member is completing their work separately so that there is only interaction between members who perform their tasks. This is because each member of the executive team is responsible for different aspects, such as sales, marketing, finance, etc. They are then blaming the previous person rather than taking responsibility and constructive criticism to make the Nintendo Switch a success. Therefore, team dynamic analysis suggests that they are currently in the storming phase of team development. Both Liam and Molly are committed to their own ideas and beliefs, which is triggering group conflict and affecting the team's relationships. To move to the next stage of team development, they need to realise that working together will help them to achieve their goals. That was really interesting. Thanks, Claudia. We're now going to further unpack this topic by having a quick chat to our HR consultant, Lauren.
Thanks, Sandra. Great to be here. Let's get straight into it. The thing that stood out to me the most about this team is the lack of motivation in the two conflicting members, Liam and Molly. Let's start with Liam. Liam doesn't see any value in doing anything other than what he's expressly told. As he sums it up, why would I take a risk if there isn't a reward? This lack of motivation can be explained by expectancy theory. This theory tells us that motivation is determined by the rewards we think we will receive as a result of our efforts. Currently, Liam sees no reward in any effort above the bare minimum. The poor sales of the Wii U resulted in low profits for the company, which meant no bonuses or pay rises. As he does not feel his contribution is evaluated individually, he doesn't contribute more than is necessary. Molly also has a motivation issue. Molly sees a disconnect between her work and Liam's, and she resents him for it. She is not motivated to work collaboratively with him because she believes that she is just picking up the slack for his poor performance. This is a textbook example of equity theory. Both she and Liam seem to be rewarded the same for vastly different levels of effort. When she compares her work to his, she feels this inequity, which causes psychological tension. If left to fester, she could start performing worse, as her current level of work is underappreciated, or could even leave Nintendo. This lack of motivation in each of these members is certainly one of the main causes of tension between the two, and something that desperately needs to be addressed.
Thanks, Lauren. I really feel like I've learned a lot today about the issues at Nintendo. I guess they're going to need to implement some recommendations to make some changes. I'm here with Hilary to discuss some recommendations for improvements at Nintendo.
Hi Sandra, thanks for having me here tonight. Okay, my first recommendation is role clarification and a reward system. It is highly recommended to let the senior managing team sit down and communicate with team members personally. By clarifying and redefining both Liam and Molly's roles and the role expectations, and stressing how these are related to outcomes, the team can better work towards a higher level of outcome and goal interdependence. This will promote better communication and cooperation. Additionally, Nintendo needs to better align the rewards they offer with performance. This is a basic principle of behavior modification. By positively reinforcing desired behavior and negatively reinforcing or punishing undesired behavior, Nintendo can direct the team's efforts to better performance and collaborative work behavior. This is a delicate balance though. Too much forced motivation can result in negative outcomes. It's important that Nintendo specifically understands Liam's personal motivation and taps into it for this initiative to be successful. This is to be implemented in the short term, approximately within 1 month. This is so that they can begin working towards a common goal with the same outcome, that of the success of the Nintendo Switch, as soon as possible. By implementing these recommendations, Nintendo can ensure that both Liam and Molly are motivated to perform and work as a team, and understand the roles that they're meant to perform. Now, on to my second recommendation, which is team bonding. After role clarification, we highly recommend that the diversity within the team is celebrated. As it seems that they are not particularly friendly with each other, we recommend the team members getting to know each other and what makes everyone different in terms of both their personalities, values, and their beliefs. This is because, as studies show, as members get to know each other better, the negative effects of surface-level diversity decrease and helps them to avoid biases. We propose that this is established in the short term by providing opportunities, such as a team lunch or bonding activities such as bowling, for the team members to get to know each other. So over the course of approximately 6 months, they can become a more cohesive and less biased team. Our last recommendation is that Nintendo moves to a reciprocal method of task interdependence. We acknowledge that all of the members are knowledgeable in their relevant areas, and therefore there should be no strict sequence of activities. This requires additional communication and means they will all depend on one another. Whilst we understand it creates opportunities for additional conflict, it also creates the means for a more supportive environment. We recommend that this is implemented as early as possible. However, we do understand that it is one that will be difficult to simply change. Work will be needed around the processes of the organization to promote this type of working environment. This is why it is proposed to be implemented in the longer term, as teaching the team how to operate like this will take time. By implementing all of these recommendations, Nintendo can help the team move from the storming phase of team development into the norming phase, which is typified by conflict resolution and the generation of team spirit.
Thanks, Hilary. Those are really great recommendations. So that wraps up our show here tonight on 60 Minutes. Thanks so much for joining us and our discussion about the scandal that broke at Nintendo Australia today. There are some clear issues occurring within the organisation that are affecting the ability of the team to perform and create the successful outcome of the Nintendo Switch. Through the discussion we have had tonight with Rosie, Claudia and Lauren, our special guest Hilary has generated a number of recommendations and timeframes to help improve the organisation at Nintendo Australia. By implementing these, it will ensure that employees know what their roles are, motivate them to work towards their goal, and then work together towards these goals. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Sandra Sully. Thank you and good night.